Hey everybody, it's Editing Katie. I just wanted to jump in really quick and give you guys a heads up. We are testing a little bit of a new formula, especially with the review for this episode being a new episode, so please be patient with us. And if you are worried about spoilers, please stick around. I promise we address that pretty quickly. So thank you and enjoy.
Welcome to Certainly Doomed Reviews. I'm Corey.
I'm Katie.
It's Kurt.
I'm Sam.
And on this week's episode, we are doing a light review, and we're kind of mixing things up a little bit, but we're going to be talking about Last Night in Soho.
Yay, for our first brand new, new release podcast.
Yeah!
We saw it in the theaters.
We're fancy.
Yeah, we are.
We don't have a dumb title for this one,
Nah.
so
How about last week in the movie theater?
This place is called Soho? Who calls it Soho?
They don't say the title of the movie.
that's true.
How did you think I got from South to North Soho? Of course I have a car. It is newly released. It was released back on the 29th
of October.
of October.
2021.
Yeah.
In theaters only.
It was an hour and 56 minutes, and it was directed by Edgar Wright. And I actually did something that I didn't think I was going to do, and took screenshots of some of the actors so that I could say them. Actually, Katie, why don't you say them?
Okay, it is starring Anya Taylor-Joy,
Sam's favorite.
Thomasin McKenzie, Matt Smith for all you Doctor Who lovers, Diana Rigg, Michael, I'm gonna butcher that. It's AJAO.
Ajo?
Ajoy?
I'm going to say that's more
There we
right.
go.
I was gonna say it's not Spanish because
Yeah.
that'd be
Terrence
awful.
Stamp, and for all you Harry Potter lovers, James Phelps was in it.
Woo.
And
For about 5 seconds.
yeah, that's pretty much it.
So, to start off with, I thought it was like a slam dunk. Watch it.
Corey, the least athletic person in this room.
Actually, I'm more athletic than I think you think I am.
I feel like that'd be a horrible competition to see which one of us is the most athletic.
Sam would win.
Sam's got a bum leg.
So, he still would.
I feel like I could kick his ass in spike ball.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I've ever played that, so probably.
Anyway, I would absolutely agree. It is 100% a watch it.
So watch it for me.
It's definitely a watch it for me, you guys. It was a lot of fun.
It was so good.
It's such a good movie.
So I'm gonna read the little synopsis they give you on the when you look up the movie, and then I'm gonna actually do my own, because the little synopsis that it gives it, I feel like, is good, but also doesn't do a great job of accurately portraying what the movie is about. An inspiring fashion designer is mysteriously able to enter the 1960s, where she encounters a dazzling wannabe singer. However, the glamour is not all it appears to be, and the dreams of the past start to crack and splinter into something far darker. So that's what it says it's about.
That's, I feel like that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yes and no.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not really they're like, oh, she gets to go to the past and she meets this girl, and it's not really
they make it sound like she's
the
legitimately
past.
time traveling.
Yeah.
I mean, she kind of is.
I mean, in a way, but she can't interact with the past, thus making it not time travel.
It makes
I feel
it
like.
seem more like she becomes she's a
It's like she went and found the DeLorean and just hopped in it and went back to the 1960s.
she was a active part of it.
Yeah, she's more of like a wanderer.
Oh, she's a watcher. She's an observer
Yeah.
in it. So my little synopsis is a little bit longer, but fun times. This story follows a fashion student who is able to see ghosts. She has a love of vintage fashions, particularly from the 60s era, music, pop culture, fashion, just the whole shebang. She's in love with it. It's pretty clear that she's family-oriented and cares a lot about her family and treasures them, even though her mom's not around anymore. What?
I mean, she's kind of around.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Hence the
Spoilers.
Siffies.
Yeah, because this is gonna be pretty spoiler light.
Well,
It's just slightly. It's all at the very,
Yeah.
very beginning.
Slight spoiler warning. We're not
Like-
gonna ruin the movie for you.
Nothing past the first like 10 minutes,
Yeah,
really.
we are
It-
gonna talk
it just-
about it.
I want you to understand that like that's a lot of her personality
Is her family.
is her family, and she's introverted, and you can tell that she spends most of her time with her family. So she's able to get into this fashion school in London where her mom and grandmother used to go a lot, so it has a lot of meaning to her. And then she starts to have these dreams and apparitions about this girl named Sandy that kind of plunges her into this story and past of this girl, and not everything is as it seems. She kind of lives vicariously through her, and we see her kind of spiral into this descent that Sandy takes her on. It's quite a whirlwind of a story. It doesn't seem like it is going anywhere near where it ends up going. There's some not so great characters, some really great characters, but majority of the people in the movie are like pretty realistic. I kind of feel like she's not really a villain, but she's kind of a villain, is not so realistic. And then also the simp dude is not so realistic. I mean, he's like
Yeah.
he's like super into her, and also like
Doesn't question a single thing.
ever anything about it, but he's still
like,
a pretty good character.
yeah.
He kind of offers some comedic relief. So it brings you into this whirlwind story, and it will leave you just flabbergasted at the twist. It doesn't come out of left field, but it sure feels like it does. So that's kind of what the story goes through, is her ability to see ghosts and in these dreams. Crazy. Love it. So into it. Anybody have anything to add?
I feel like that review was so, the synopsis was so chaotic. Yeah, you didn't get anything spoiled. No offense, Corey.
Thanks.
Well, it's a good thing,
Yeah.
because this is supposed to be our first spoiler-free episode, and I'm really bad about that.
I don't think it needs to be particularly spoiler free. I just don't feel like,
We don't need to put out the heavy spoilers.
yeah, it's not like a whole synopsis.
So I feel like
We're
if
saying,
there's one scene I really, really want to talk about, not because I really liked it, but because it really pissed me off. Okay, so in the beginning, there's a part where they're at a party, and this guy's trying to flirt with her, and I swear to God, this guy's not interacted with another human being, because he's listening to music. He steals her headphones, hears it, and he's like, "It's shit. Wanna bang?"
Like Billy part two.
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much. He's just kind of like, oh, what you listening to?
This is garbage.
You listen to this old crap?
You want to get down now?
And it's actually good music.
Yeah.
It's not like, this is objectively bad.
Yeah. I will say, like, the movie does, I don't want to say it starts off, like, super lighthearted, but it is way more lighthearted than where it ends up.
It really does seem it's going to be just like this fashion student trying to struggle through her way
Yeah.
in school. And
They,
it kind of is about that, but also not really at all.
yeah, like, I knew it was going to get kind of dark because it's a thriller, but it was one of those, was like, oh, okay, I didn't think it was going to get that dark.
It was crazy. Loved it.
Very, very good.
Also, the
movie.
people in front of us in the theater didn't like it at all, and I just felt like, how?
You were
How?
ready to throw popcorn at them.
I was so ready. I was listening to them being like, anything could be more interesting than this movie. I was like, did we watch the same movie?
They probably would have liked The Dead Don't Die.
Maybe.
This movie didn't say enough about consumerism. I feel like Joe Rogan wouldn't like it. I can't.
Well, I think one of the ladies that sat in front of us was the one who laughed when Katie came over and saw I was putting lemon flavor in my lemonade.
What?
Yeah,
didn't
add
see
extra
that.
lemon flavor to the lemonade because it doesn't really
It
taste like
wasn't
lemonade.
lemony enough for you?
No.
Hey, don't make fun of Sam. That's like one of the smartest things I've heard.
I just was very surprised when I walked over and he was getting his drink and he's getting lemonade and he puts extra lemon flavor and I'm like, but Sam, isn't it lemonade? Doesn't it already have lemon in it?
Yes.
Well, it was
Well-
the Tropicana, and Tropicana's not that great.
Well, it's
Okay.
because it's Pepsi products.
Yeah,
But that's
so
another
no,
argument.
like what it is it's half water, half flavoring. But with that, it's probably 3/4 and a third.
Club soda and flavoring.
Well, no, if it's not carbonated, then it's not club soda.
Lemonade's not.
Yeah, because I used to have to fix the soda machine.
Yep.
Wow, we derailed quickly.
But
Anyway,
new record.
they
But
laughed.
yeah, she laughed at because you're like you're getting lemonade or lemon flavored lemonade, and then she like laughed really loudly. So
I mean, it's a little funny, but
Glad I could entertain.
that was probably the most entertainment she got or had that night.
I just was like,
All right.
are we watching different movies?
To keep the gag going, are they from Texas or California?
California.
I don't know. It seems like Texas.
Yeah, I'm throwing the vote on Texas.
I mean, maybe they could be from Kansas.
Sam, you're really going deep, man.
I'm just saying.
Out of the
Well-
20 people in Kansas, if one of them happens to be watching, yeah, okay.
Watching.
Listening.
If you can see us, there's a problem.
I don't know. If you're from Kansas, maybe it's not a problem.
It's not a problem anymore.
But
Yeah.
I guess probably Texas.
Okay, y'all win. They're from Texas.
But I was not surprised it was good, considering who directed it.
Yeah. I mean, why is everybody just looking at me?
I
Well,
wasn't.
I just
I
expected
was-
you to say something about Baby Driver because it's Edgar Wright.
I mean, yeah, I really do like Baby Driver, and that being the only Edgar Wright movie I've seen so far.
Was this the only other one?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I was totally throwing a line for Sam to talk about Edgar Wright because I thought he's seen more of than that.
I do have 3 of his movies on DVD that I do need to watch.
Oh my
Thanks,
God. So
Brandon.
that's where Kurt gets it from.
What?
Buying a movie that you have never seen.
No, I
don't know,
I
that's-
said
He said, thanks, Brandon.
yeah.
Oh my God! I thought you said that you had bought them. I was like, so Kurt, y'all are the reason that he does this, because he buys movies and he's like, hey, let's see if this movie is really bad. Then why would you buy it? Why would we not just like bootleg it or something?
I think it comes from buying games. Cause
Yeah,
that's-
it absolutely comes from buying games.
yeah, that's the only way you know if you like a game or not is
Yeah.
to buy it.
Just to buy it. And here's the thing, the
Or
best
look
part
at
is,
reviews.
if I don't...
I mean,
okay, but
but-
reviews can lie, okay?
That's what. Then what are we doing?
We're not lying.
Well,
you
we
know-
haven't even really reviewed the movie.
That's
Because we
true.
haven't been paid for this. So why would we lie in its favor?
I wish. Moving on, the way that this episode is going to be set up is that we have that first part where we talk about the movie and everything, and then some things that are loosely related to the movie that I thought it would be like fun to have like topics over for us to kind of talk about.
In the review?
Yeah, I just thought we were reviewing it, saying about how great we thought it was, and
Okay, I didn't know if we want to go
I
deeper
mean,
at
do you
all.
want to talk about? You already said your favorite part, Kurt. We can
Yeah,
all
but,
talk about our favorite parts.
Yeah, go
I
right
mean,
ahead. I'll
should
be
we just
quiet.
get into like actual spoilers now,
No, I don't.
or
think we
light
should.
spoilers?
Here's a light spoiler for you. My favorite part is when the guy says, yeah, I have a car. How do you think I got from South Soho to North Soho?
That one's pretty good. Can I say my favorite joke that took me a second to get
What?
is, she starts working at the bar, and she was drinking like after her shift, and she asked, "Do you believe in spirits?" And the bartender's like says, "Of course I believe in spirits. That's how I get paid."
Yes. Yeah, that was pretty good. I like that.
It took me a second, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
I don't know. I was really digging the 60s fashion, some of the
Oh my
music.
God.
Yeah.
It
Okay, I feel like this movie was like
was made
made
for
for
Corey.
me.
Corey's
It had
like,
everything I could ever want in a movie from it. It had amazing music, amazing fashion. The story was so compelling. The people were so compelling. Even if I didn't like some of them. It's got like this true crime aspect that is really great, but it also has this supernatural aspect that's also really great. And I just felt like it was made for me.
yeah.
Oh, it's probably one of my favorite movies now.
It was. I was trying to get my other half to go watch it with me last week, but then I got sick, so it didn't happen.
Yummy.
But it was so good. I will say, like, going into this movie, I was like, okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna enjoy this, but I walked out enjoying it a hell of a lot more than I expected to.
I thought I was going to enjoy it, and I walked out loving it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It just very, very good. And I gotta say, fucking love Matt Smith playing a villain.
It was so good. And he's so charming in it. And
Of course,
then,
did that just spoil things by saying he's a villain?
No, I mean the trailers.
trailers
Do
are.
they? Okay.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
trailers are very
Good. I
bleeding
got
that
worried I
he's
ruined
the.
things. He really, really nails it. Especially, like,
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you probably haven't seen Doctor Who.
No.
No.
Yeah. He plays the 11th Doctor, and he is just so, like, quirky and, like, fun-loving and just, like, happy-go-lucky and...
See, something so different.
Yeah, I mean, just great actor.
I've only ever seen him in The Devil All the Time.
I don't.
Was he not in
I
that?
don't
No,
think
he's
the
not in
Devil all the
that.
time.
Is there a guy who looks like him who's in that movie?
Kind of, a little bit.
The
No.
preacher, the
That's-
snake guy.
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah,
No,
that
the
is Robert
snake guy
Pattinson.
preacher. Leave me
What?
alone. Leave Curtain's Corner really quick.
Okay.
It's consulting Google.
What?
yeah, so-
Snake preacher.
I'm also confused.
Clearly, they don't remember that movie, but that's not what we're talking about this
No,
week.
I remember that movie.
That seems like a very different movie than what The Devil All the Time was.
You guys are now questioning if you watched the same movie.
I mean,
we watched it together.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm thinking of Harry Melling.
Yeah, he kind of ish.
That's
looks like him.
Dudley.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Dudley because he plays a bad guy in that movie, and
Oh.
so he plays a very creepy character, and so
Just-
you know.
just a
I
little bit.
mean, he now kind of has some similarities to Matt Smith, but yeah.
Anyway.
But still.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so to go on, I did want to talk about some larger topics that relate back to the movie, since we're not doing like all of it is just spoilers.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna try to get out of that kind of function, but we'll see where that goes. I feel like the movie really leaned into the idea of getting one perspective out of things. Like, you only see this one side, so you don't get the whole story. And I feel like that was a brilliant choice and such a good way to go ahead and portray that. I think it also really helps us touch on the dangers of nostalgia and like how things from past and memories from the past don't always show everything.
Yeah,
And
I
I
mean,
kind of wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, because I mean, you're sitting there watching it from, wow, I just went blank. What's her name?
the main girl.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ellie.
Ellie,
Yeah.
thank you. Ellie Turner, right?
Yeah.
So the whole time you're over Ellie's shoulder watching what's going on with Sandy. Because, and I know on the trailers you see, particularly like the scene of Sandy's walking down the stairs
Oh.
and Ellie's in the mirror. So you know that like Ellie's got the outside perspective of Sandy. So like we're viewing everything with Sandy, seeing all of it happen. And you're absolutely right that like you're only getting this one side of it and you have to wait until
The very end. And even
The
then, it's
end
not
to
necessarily
know.
something that you get the other side about. You just
yeah.
get it.
It's almost kind of like confirmation
Yeah.
at the end
Yeah.
of that side. Instead of just being like the outside perspective.
Well, and something they do that I find very interesting in the movie is, like, it's, like I said at the beginning, she's incredibly inspired by 60s fashion. And quite a bit of it is her trying to pull from Sandy for that 60s inspiration. Like, everywhere, everything. And you see at the beginning, she's trying to copy it. It's
Yeah.
not inspiration, it's copying. And
Yeah, it's not even like I want to wear this because it reminds me of that. It's straight up just, she wore this, I'm going to wear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody just gave me a weird look. I almost was just like, yeah, and then at the end, but I'm like, wait a second, we're not gonna talk about things.
Yeah.
But
I think that
This is kind of hard to not like just give everything away.
just to give
But
you an idea, at the end of it, she understands.
Yeah.
Like, it goes from, she is able to take away that, like, longing to be in that time and pull herself to the present.
Yeah, it's almost like,
I'm not like other girls. I want to be back in the 60s.
yeah, I mean, it goes from just like admiring the 60s to just straight up, that's what I
Being.
want. That's what I want to be. And full blown just like changing appearances to
Being.
copy.
Yeah, it's more like an idolization, or I guess I would like to talk about more about the idolization behind it. How we idolize things, and that's not how they really were. And that's what a lot of this movie is about.
Oh,
Yes?
I was going to say, we also only get one perspective, and I don't think this was, I don't know if it's done on purpose, but so when you think about the 1960s, the 1990s, yeah, you can think back on that time, but it was still a fairly similar time. The 60s, if you were white, if you're Asian, if you're Mexican, if you're black, 60s idolization, completely different things.
Yeah.
And I feel like her boyfriend being, or maybe boyfriend, no, but her love interest being black, I feel like that was maybe kind of on purpose. Because she has one perspective of the 60s.
Yeah.
That's like her grab to keep her in present day. Like, maybe everything wasn't so great back then, even as much as I love it and wish I was a part of it. I know that things would be different if that's genuinely how I lived.
Like, anytime I hear the old people at work or in my life talk about how good life was in the 60s,
Early to 70s.
I really like to be like, you guys just miss being able to be openly racist. Like, that's one of the first things I think about that comes to my mind. And I know it's kind of a joke, but it's also...
There's probably some truth behind there.
Yeah.
I mean, genuinely.
And, like, there are a lot of things from back then that weren't necessarily considered to be that way. Like...
Hey, it's Editing Katie again. I'm back. This conversation's going to sound a little weird. We had to cut out a couple things just to keep somebody's identity anonymous. So, I promise this conversation plays into what we're talking about, so just bear with us. And here we go.
Who I don't think is a racist person. Like, he has never openly been that way. When he was growing up, his best friend was African American. He was born in the 50s, so he grew up in the 60s and 70s. And he called his best friend the N-word all the time. Like, that was his nickname for him, and his best friend didn't care. When he talks about him, it is just so incredibly strange to talk about because he doesn't mean it in a racist way. He's just, because he grew up.
The name, yeah.
Yeah, because it was like,
but you know,
it wasn't.
Yeah, in this day and age, you know that absolutely no
doesn't
way, no
fly.
how.
Absolutely
It's not okay now.
Well,
again, it's like, I don't want to say culture shock, but
it is a culture shock because when he was a kid, it wasn't offensive to him.
The fact that they could do that back then and nobody was gonna walk up and punch him in the face for it.
Yeah.
Here you go. I'm just now Googling this, but you know how there's a lot of stuff at the bars, right?
Mm-hmm.
So back in the 60s, there was a very famous point where, I don't know if it was an Irish guy or a black guy had gone to a bar, tried to get a drink. They didn't want to serve them. So then it became very prominent after all that controversy to see signs proclaiming no blacks, no Irish, no dogs on all the pub doors. And that was during 63. Like, during the height of when this movie... But this movie's not about racism, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've strayed slightly, but it's within reason.
Yeah.
It is very...
It's just to show how separated that this time is from that time.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly like you're saying. She's like creating this almost like fantasy version of the 60s that it's purely the good stuff before really going, oh wait, there's some not so great things going on. But I feel like that's fair for just about any era.
Yeah. Well, and I think that, like, in that time, a good example is, like, a lot of the portion of this movie is about the fashion that's shown. So, like, the different things that they're wearing and the different things that they show really help you kind of, like, piece together what's happening. They give you, like, hints and, like, it helps you put into perspective what is happening with the outfits that are going on. Like... there's this one where she's wearing this red dress with a bow on the back, and it's very obvious what it is supposed to be symbolizing at that point. And it's not necessarily something that you pick up on, and then you think about it, and you do. It's just... Where was I going with that? I started to say...
You started off strong, Corey.
I started off really strong. I was like, what did I just say at the beginning?
I was rooting for you.
Here, I think I can maybe figure out something. So this movie, a lot of the stuff about nostalgia is about the music and the fashion. And that's one of those things, even looking back upon, you can't really demonize music and fashion. You can. Okay, there are some horrible songs out there. There's some real, but for the most part, you know, fashion's one of those things.
You only remember the good music.
Yeah, you only remember the good music, but still, like, it's still about fashion and music. And those are those things that they can carry over into today and you can look back on with happiness. the least, it's really hard to demonize someone who loves 90s fashion. Okay, like you cannot just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this is where I was going to go with it, but like you get a lot of the aspect of the fashion with it and where it's going with it. In the very beginning, there's a poster of Twiggy on her wall, and I don't know if y'all know anything about her.
No.
I know you don't.
Wow.
I was like maybe you do. She was very, very, very skinny and very boyish. Like she was pretty flat chested, pretty flat, and no butt. Just
like a twig.
Yeah, that's why Twiggy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you, Kurt. Y'all can't see it, but he showed a picture of Twiggy, and she's got real big eyes and everything. But fashion at that time was to be that way. You get the presence of like wanting to be a certain way, idolization of somebody like Twiggy, where it's like to be that thin, to be that
To present yourself
yeah,
in certain ways.
in that very specific style, you would have to be like anorexic or on drugs or something like that, which no shame on. Everybody's got their hustle, I guess, but maybe don't.
We don't condone drugs here at CDR.
No.
Or eating disorders either.
Yeah.
You gotta clarify.
If you have issues, seek help. I know that it's hard sometimes, but stylization and fashion, especially in that time, really lent itself to having problems like that. And idolization of somebody like that, and the idolization of that era and the fashion in that era where these were issues, I feel like really kind of, at least in my mind, lends to the point of the movie where they mean well with all the fashion and everything and the inspiration behind it, but you also get the deep, dark issues.
Yeah.
That lend itself with the fashion. So I feel like that was a really important, very interesting part of the movie.
Fashion played a big role, and not just in like the...
Not in her just being a fashion student.
Yeah, and not just as like a... I mean, it was more than just a fixture for the movie.
Yeah. It was
kind of its own role.
Yeah, it was a tool. It really helped. And you didn't need to know that it was a tool for it to be a tool.
Yeah.
You don't have to know anything about fashion or the fashion world to understand its importance in the movie. And it was just spot on with it. It was just spot on with it.
Literally,
Oh my
as soon
God.
as the movie ended, I leaned over to Corey and I was like, I know you were loving all that fashion.
I
She's
did.
Like, oh my God, yes.
The white trench coat. Excuse me.
I was a sucker for the pink dress.
It was so cute. I would look so bad in that.
Carol, what was your favorite fashion?
Even some of the men's fashion was really nice.
It
though.
was, yeah.
No, okay, I gotta be honest, you guys.
About what?
The 60s fashion.
You hated them,
Gigi, yeah, not a big fan. I think it makes women look pretty bad.
Well, that's
Like that pink dress she wore when she was dancing
Mm-hmm.
did not compliment her at all. Like Anya Taylor-Joy's just hot. That's
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Anya Taylor-Joy. She's just hot. But like that fashion, it does not do. I don't think it does a lot for me. It kind of looks like a nightgown.
You
that's
have to think about it in the terms of if you were in the 60s, that would be a very flattering dress for a woman. She's showing off the entirety of her arms. It was knee length.
Yeah.
Now, obviously,
It lent itself to a lot of...
It looked like a nightgown, bro.
Well, if you think about how the 50s were, it's polarizing. Because the 50s were like, you had like quarter sleeves and it did still go down to your knees, but everything was still fluffed out. It was very, very different for it. Still had a lot of the same stuff in it, but...
Sam,
Well,
what was your favorite fashion? Give me an outfit.
I don't know.
The correct answer is, so there's my mild spoiler. Her love interest during the movie. Did you ever see what he was drawing?
Yes.
His shirt he was wearing.
No. The Viking armor he made.
Oh,
You
I did
remember
not
that?
see that.
Dude, he was legit making like a Viking video game armor, like long coat with fur. That should be the correct answer, Sam. Because that was my favorite fashion. I just remembered it.
There you go.
They also do a lot in the movie with music.
the
As
soundtrack was really, really good.
Edgar Wright likes to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Well,
was
even
amazing.
Think about Baby Driver. Like, the soundtrack in that was so freaking good.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you would like it.
I'm sure I would.
Do you like the soundtrack in this one? It's kind of boomer-esque, Sam. I know you kind of...
I mean, that's pretty much all I listen to is movies from not movies, songs that didn't come out in the 2000s. So
That's what I'm saying.
Sam, boomer confirmed. Passing on the baton, Sam. It's yours.
Sorry, dude.
I mean, it's
We're all
fine.
boomers in our own ways.
I don't know, man.
Yes, you are. All of us are.
I don't know,
Shame
man.
the non-believer. Shame.
How early do you get up in the morning?
Yo, okay, yeah, that's true. I get up at 5:30.
And then
Yeah,
you drink like
boomer.
7 pots of coffee and you're like, boomers can't fucking exist without their coffee. Also, Kurt, I can't exist without my coffee.
Yo, I can exist just fine. People just don't like me. That's the only answer. Like, all my kindness comes from caffeine.
All right, Corey, what other questions did you have? Or
Well, I wanted
Pieces.
to talk a little bit more about the dangers of nostalgia, like remembering things and them not being the same as what they actually are. Because I feel like that's actually a pretty prominent thing for everybody. For instance, 90s fashion is coming back. Kind of a lot.
I just saw a TikTok the other day of this lady. She's like, here's how my hair looks in a normal ponytail. But oh my god, look how great it looks in a banana clip. And I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
I grew up with like my mom giving me her banana clips. They have gone around now to where they're new again.
Scrunchies.
Yep.
Yeah. I love scrunchies though.
Yeah.
I got some in my hair now.
I feel like it's a weird Gen Z thing. Like, when I think about my childhood, I'm distinctively not nostalgic for anything that happened because we had the 2008 financial crisis and 9/11.
Were you
yeah,
very
right in the
well?
middle of all
what?
of that.
Were you very aware of the 2008 financial crisis?
Absolutely. It pretty much almost caused my parents to get divorced, so yeah.
Same. Same.
Like, all I remember them arguing about is money after that, so I'm
yeah.
distinctively more nostalgic for yesterday than I was the mid-2000s,
I
early
don't know, like when I
2010s.
see those like really dark rooms with the glow-in-the-dark like machines in them for like the arcades, I feel nostalgic for that.
Yo, we didn't have e-girls back then.
No, you had scene kids. You
Ugh.
had scene kids.
Katie was a scene kid.
No, I was an emo kid. They are two very
With
different
no
things.
self-esteem, no way it just makes every day feel like Halloween.
Yeah.
Can we
Oh
talk
my
about how
God, my
bad
best
emo
friend
Katie
really
was?
wanted to be an emo kid, and she got her own bangs, and it was the worst thing.
Sam, you remember?
That's why nostalgia is bad.
Yeah.
I want to be an emo kid. I'm gonna cut my own bangs. Don't cut your own bangs.
Don't do it. Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's one of those, like, you have fond memories of certain timepieces, or people will talk about all the good that happened, but then it's like, oh yeah, but we failed to mention, like, racism and sexism.
The Cold
and,
War.
Yeah, I mean, all the bad that went along with it. So
Oh.
it's...
I mean, do we know how UK was in the 60s?
Oh, that's what I was talking about earlier with the civil rights stuff. That's from the UK.
Was it?
Yeah.
The signs on
The,
the pub
because
doors.
no Irish, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
Nobody
I mean,
hates
they
the
still
Irish.
hate the Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, okay,
And-
that's the one thing
and
I've never.
Scots.
It's so strange to me, like, being from America. Like, don't get me wrong, I hate people from California, but what I like, the way the British hate the Irish, I would love someone from California,
Can I
okay?
tell you the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life? Right now.
Is this a story about?
It's a story about racism.
Okay, yeah, I know what this is.
Somebody was racist to me, and it was another white person, and it was so crazy to me. I was learning French at the time, and a good friend of mine was dating this British guy, and the person that I was talking to was also learning French, the person who was dating this British guy. And he said to me, "Who do you think you are, you fucking frog?" And I was like, "What?" I have never. This is the craziest thing that's ever happened to me.
Is that an example of white privilege?
I guess. I just was so surprised. I was like, "What?" And they were like, "I didn't know fucking frogs lived in America." And I was like, "What the hell is happening here?" Racism.
It's not good.
No.
Look, I'm not trying to say everyone from
Like,
the
this
UK
is
is
the only time I'm
racist,
ever
but
gonna experience this, but this is so strange.
What did you say?
so I'm not saying everybody from the UK is racist, but man, they hate the Irish, they hate the Scots, they hate the Jamaicans. Right? They hate the Jamaicans, right? Like,
I guess.
I know
don't
that,
know,
like,
I'm not from the UK.
they have very complicated
Yeah,
relationship with Indians.
I don't know if we're all that well versed to speak about the UK and their social.
Yeah, but I just think about like as an
You know what?
American
I think about how close Ireland is to
to the UK.
the UK.
See,
and
that's what
how
bothers me.
We have something like twice as far away, and we are not like. I mean, yeah, we make fun of Californians, but we're not like.
Would I
No
firebomb?
Californians in my bar.
Would I firebomb?
Actually hate them.
Would I
No.
firebomb a Californian for being a Californian? No,
Yeah,
wouldn't even ever dream of it.
it is crazy to me. But the second thing that I wanted to talk about was the importance of music in movies. Because this really does a really amazing job of it,
Isn't that why Edgar Wright's successful?
I guess.
I mean, being a good director.
Yeah, I mean,
general.
I'm just
I mean,
kind of
a lot
just being
of, I
I'm
feel
kind
like
of
a lot of
joking.
movies is knowing the music to go with it, because it helps not only set up the scene, but the mood.
I mean, think about like Guardians of the Galaxy. You
Mhm.
have obviously your cast of characters, and they're very important. But again, kind of like we were talking about the fashion in this, the music itself is a character of its own.
I feel like the music in this movie also is a character of its own.
Yeah,
And
it
mus-
contributes just as much as the actors do.
Yeah. It really plays itself. Like, it really does. The fast-paced, like, happy, crazy moments have the most fitting music it possibly could. And it really brings you into that moment. I think it really is a tool to help kind of just jet you into it.
So I'm gonna plug one of my favorite movies, Parasite. If you don't speak Korean, I don't speak Korean even a little bit, but the song in the credits, if you know the lyrics, it makes the ending even sadder. And yeah, you don't know because you speak English, but if you know what I'm talking about, Google the ending credit lyrics. It's sad. I'm not going to spoil the movie.
It is really sad. It's a really good movie.
It's just it goes to show that like music is so important to a movie.
Or even like the lyric, like, you know, everything.
Yeah.
How when the song start, when it ends. Because Suicide Squad, the bad one.
Oh, you mean trailer montage for the first half of the movie where
Yeah.
they play any and every pop song with no rhyme or reason?
Yeah.
God, what is it? Cosmonaut Variety Hour?
Yeah.
His video about about that movie.
Yeah, there's at least like 8 different songs in like the first 30 minutes, and about 5 of them are in the first 10.
Yeah, and it's not just 30 seconds. We're talking like at least a minute of every song.
Oh yeah, every character got their own like hype up song, and then yeah, just not great.
Like,
And it can be done well. Like, you can put a lot of music really very quickly and it be done well.
They did
But
not.
they did
in
not,
that
no.
movie.
like,
No.
well, like there's the part, and then again, I did point this out. It was totally stolen from the video, but it's very pertinent that like they play the House of the Rising Sun, which is about a prostitute or brothel.
A brothel in Louisiana, and the reason they picked that is because the prison is in Louisiana. But it doesn't really work. It doesn't fit.
Doesn't work. Just because the song is about a place in Louisiana doesn't mean it's the perfect song.
It's like when any character goes to
It's like-
California and they play Hotel California,
Yeah, or like The Devil
Yeah.
Went Down to Georgia, and it's a movie about
or they play
children or
Fortunate
something.
Son when they go to Vietnam.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to play that, or Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a requirement.
the MPAA will give you NC-17 if you don't.
Although, another call out to a movie that does music really well. I love Birds of Prey, but K-Flay did a song for them, which K-Flay, if you don't know her, she's great. She's like the most hype person ever. And she made a song specifically for the movie. Specifically?
Specifically,
Yes, that word. The one that I can't say. Specifically. Specifically.
There you go.
Yay! I'm not gonna remember how to say it in 2 minutes.
Hey, but you did it just now. It counts. Everybody give Corey a round of
Yeah.
applause, please.
But the song so perfectly fits the movie. It is beautiful. It is so good, right, Kurt?
It is.
Yeah.
Wait,
that,
it-
like need of reassurance.
Well, like,
Cause Kurt's the one who he was like, K-Flay made a song for this movie. I was like, really?
yeah, it's really good. It is really, really good. And there's also another K-Flay thing with BoJack, where
Oh.
they have the whole episode, and it's all about a K-Flay song. Look, if we're doing things that work well,
K-Flay songs.
yeah.
But I think the movie does like an amazing job. I think it's very important for any movie to have the right music behind it. Coraline does a great job. The children, like, so much of the movie is children singing.
It's creepy.
And it's supposed to be.
Oh, yeah.
It's great. It does such a good job. It does its job beautifully.
Isn't this why we have synth score points?
Yeah. Soundtrack points. This gets
this
like
movie,
a solid
yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, absolutely. All of them.
One of my favorite, like, music pieces or parts, just the scene of Sandy singing downtown.
Oh, absolutely.
It almost makes her seem magical the way that she does it. She's very floaty and just beautiful. And it really just pulls you into the, like, how Ellie gets to her viewpoint of, like, I want to be this.
Yeah.
It's just, like...
the way that she idolizes Sandy and how it really brings you in, because you also, in that moment,
understand.
Her. Yeah. I also think the song choice of Singing Downtown was really great, because it's about living in the fast lane and...
being where you're not.
Yeah.
It's
about
so
wanting to have that lifestyle, and we see where it takes you.
I feel like, you know, that it can enhance a movie, and then I feel like it can enhance a movie for some, but distance it for others.
Well,
like The Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
The Great Gatsby, the new one. For me, I thought the soundtrack made that movie one of my favorites. But I know a lot of people who are like, they used modern music in my timepiece movie.
I think you can do that, but I think it has to be well done. Like, I watched Bridgerton on Netflix, and it is a timepiece, but one of the things that they did that kind of modernized it was they had an orchestra do versions of, like, a Taylor Swift song and Ariana Grande and Maroon 5, but it was all an orchestra doing it, so you didn't have somebody singing.
It wasn't immediately noticeable.
Yeah,
it wasn't
was
like
just
out
like,
of the normal.
Yeah, you hear it in the background, and it was really cool, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute,
I know that song.
I know that. So it can be done really well, but it depends on how it's done.
Yeah.
Are you telling me you don't like The Great Gatsby movie?
It is not my favorite version of The Great Gatsby, but I did enjoy it.
I also like it.
But Leo.
Not a big Leo fan.
That's very surprising to me.
It's
Ugh.
fine.
No.
It's just fine.
Yeah,
I liked
it's
it.
fine.
It had Florence and the Machine in it.
Yeah.
It had Lana Del Rey in it.
Yep.
I think that's Kurt's selling point right there.
I felt like they used that one song too much.
That one song that
is the
I have
entirety of the movie.
Yeah, I have played that song probably too many times.
I know. I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
But it does a really amazing job with it and everything, and beautiful. Just as it does good, it can do bad. I can't think of a time where I've ever noticed it where I'm like, wow, this does not fit the moment.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if I was hyped up on enough G Fuel, I would really like the music in Suicide Squad.
It doesn't help. Also, we're not sponsored by them, so
If you want to sponsor us,
we'll reach out to them.
we'll
Come on,
watch.
GPO, reach out to us.
I'd be all down. I would be down for that.
We can reach out to them. That's different.
We'll watch
Once we have more than...
It's editing, Katie. Again. We have to stop meeting like this, guys. So what my little broski Sam here is trying to say before he got distracted is maybe once we get past our like 15, 16 followers that we have currently, then it would be time to reach out for sponsorship. But that being said, we really, really, really appreciate all of you who have followed us on Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, everywhere. You guys have no idea how much that means to us. So keep it up. We really like it. Keep flattering us. And here we go, diving right back in.
Yeah, I was not expecting it to be as much of a horror movie as it was. There are a couple of actual scares in it.
Yeah, it made me jump twice.
Yeah.
It made me jump once.
It
And
made me
I
jump
think.
once
Oh,
too.
you're good.
do you know which one it was?
It was the same one that made me jump really bad.
Yep.
Like I sat next to Sam for whatever. I don't know. Like though Corey and Katie sat next to each other, and there was a gap, and then it was Sam and I.
Are we really questioning why Corey and I sat together?
I mean, I'm not.
No, that's not what he's saying.
No, I was just trying to
He's
like
just
explain
saying
it
that,
for him. Like
He
they
knows
couldn't
which
really
one
see
it was
me.
for Sam because he was right next to Sam.
Because Sam and I both jumped, and I was expecting to look over and him making fun of me, like he always does when things make me jump in a movie. And he also looked panicked, and I'm like, "We're good, we're good."
Oh, good. It wasn't just me.
Yeah.
If you don't know, it was. And then the only other thing I would really like to mention is the cinematography for it is beautiful.
Baller, man.
Yeah, the lighting's great.
What makes not Kurt, you're Sam.
The only thing I didn't like was the strobe lighting, which there is a lot of in a couple of scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I think the theater actually had to have a seizure warning outside the.
Yeah.
And it's justified. I mean, it's.
Yeah. Those are studio mandated. Like, they have to put those
I mean,
out.
it's fair, though.
It's warranted.
Yeah, warranted. That's the word I'm looking for.
This is what makes Sam and I, the movie snobs, is that we actually care about the cinematography in it.
Yeah.
I do care about it, but there are only, like, certain movies that it really, really stands out to me. Like, when we walked out of, was it 1912?
1917.
1917. Thank you. That one, I was like, damn, that was cool the way they did that, because there were a lot of just really long-running shots.
Yeah, and it's filmed to be one
Just
long,
one.
continuous shot.
Have you... Okay.
I have it.
Oh, yeah, Sam and I watched
Okay,
it.
we should watch that one. That one, I have been wanting to watch that again, because it was really, really good. But,
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, like, very beautiful movie. I like just some of the big shots of, like, London and everything else, and the way it was done, and just, it was a good movie.
Yeah, this was
Yeah.
absolutely done on purpose, but there was no wide sweeping shots with that. You always felt like you were following
Somebody or something.
Ellie or something. You were always tracked behind somebody. You were like, now you went following Ellie, now you're following Sandy. Bam. Like, it was quick, it was snappy. I liked it.
Seamless.
It was
Seamless.
seamless.
Did you guys read the article I sent you about the way that they filmed
I did.
the dancing
The
scene?
dancing scene, yeah.
I saw it, but I didn't
So-
read it.
That scene was so cool, and
It
just
was so cool.
getting that little bit of a snippet of how was just kind of neat, because I mean, you have an idea, but it just was so well done. I mean, there was a lot of that, like, mirror
Yeah.
facade is just very neat.
It is really, really cool. It's a really beautiful scene, done perfectly.
And I mean, even like that plays into what we were talking about. It's like you're viewing everything with Ellie, watching everything that happens to Sandy. So I mean, you're as much as a viewer as Ellie is.
Yeah.
And it's just really cool how it's done.
Well, and a lot of it is really done in a very masterful way. There's a lot of parts where there's, like, a lot of emptiness, and then a lot of crowds. And it goes back and forth, and the way that they allow you to view those two completely different parts is really masterful. For instance, like, very, very mild spoiler, there's a part where Sandy is performing and she's not happy, and she turns around, and it does, like, a pan over of her looking over at Jack, and you see all of the people. And before, when she was performing downtown, they do something very similar, but there's nobody there.
Yeah.
They do a really masterful job of doing things like that. And the difference between being overwhelmed in a crowd and not. And they use crowds and, like, other people as a way to help you understand the mood of that and the differences. Kind of in a, like, non-noticeable way. It's very interesting. Very well done.
I'm nodding. I know you can't, like, hear that on a podcast, but I am nodding in agreement.
And you and Kurt are stealing all my moves. Kurt has done a couple of one-word answers, and now you're nodding.
Trying to get you to
So-
talk more.
You can't assimilate me, Sam.
So speaking of getting Sam to talk, before we wrap things up, I want to throw out one question to everybody.
Okay.
Movie to recommend after watching this movie. Like, if you want something similar-ish.
Oh, gosh.
I'm not going
Oof.
for the same, but I'm going for...
Oh God, you're gonna put me on the spot.
Yeah, you should have told
Yeah,
us
you should've
before.
told us.
Nope. I want
I
to see
can't.
your gut reactions.
I guess for a thriller, I guess I would maybe say Prisoners, which you guys haven't watched yet.
I really want to.
Stay tuned for our Prisoners episode.
Yeah.
We were gonna watch it. We haven't yet.
Well, we have the ladies on the phone. I'm going to throw out mine as The Lighthouse. If we want to talk about a horror movie that plays with camera really well
Yeah.
and
That's
it's a good period piece.
And 2 solid performances.
Yep. Again, very kind of dissimilar vibes, but same.
I guess if you want movies with the 2 main leads, you could do The Witch with
Yeah.
Anya Taylor-Joy, or Jojo Rabbit with Thomasin McKenzie, because
That's a great movie.
both are solid.
Y'all make me feel like I haven't seen movies, but I also know there are so many movies that
Yeah, I know.
I'm the only person here who has watched.
So
Just don't talk about them.
As I'm stalling for time, I will include the fact that I've never seen Princess Bride or Waterboy. This was the conversation before we started recording, was that I have not seen those.
We're gonna have to watch The Princess Bride. That is one of my all-time favorite movies. So good.
Same.
I don't know, Kurt.
I also don't know. I'm sitting here trying to think about it. And
I mean, I don't watch a lot of like thrillers, so that's kind of like.
I love
No.
thrillers, but
Stop,
none of
Kat.
them I would suggest like this.
Would you slap the title of mystery on this at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's a
Yeah.
mystery.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Knives Out because it's a little on the different side. It makes you kind of question what's going on. I mean, obviously Knives Out isn't like a period piece or anything like that, but it's got the like, what the fuck? I didn't see that coming.
I can't remember what the name of the movie is, but Kurt, you and I watched it together, and I know that you know what I'm talking about.
I
She
don't.
sticks her hand on the nail.
We all watched that together, Ready or Not.
Yeah, Ready
No.
or Not. Is that Ready or Not? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
Ready or Not.
We
I
all
was
watched that as a group.
I forgot about that. I forgot
All right,
that we watched
it
it
might have
together.
just been the three of us,
Yeah,
I've watched it. I know Sam and I've watched it 3 times.
maybe.
Okay, I guess Sam's probably watched it more.
I mean, I've watched it a lot.
I feel like that movie would be a great one to watch after this. It's not necessarily the same. It's got that kind of like thriller vibe.
it's kind of quirky.
Yeah, quirky.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
I wasn't looking
It's unique
for
like that.
Last Night in Soho, but with a different name. I was just looking for a movie recommendations. You guys took this way too
Well,
hard.
like,
You
I'm
all
trying
went
to
way too
think
hard.
I'm trying to think of movies that have like the same kind of flow to them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna suggest like Peeping Tom or something. You guys probably haven't seen that movie, but that's fine.
Nope.
Movie
an
snob.
oldie.
So, your recommendation was what, Sam?
Prisoners, I guess.
And Kurt, yours was
Lighthouse,
Lighthouse.
The Lighthouse, yeah.
mine
Or
was
The
Knives
Lighthouse, yeah.
Out, and yours was
Ready or Not.
okay. That way we have a solid.
I
That's
feel
a
like
good
I
idea.
kind of like that. Maybe we need to start introducing we like this movie. Maybe you would enjoy this too.
yeah.
Last Night in Soho, great movie. I really, really hope everybody likes it as much as we did. It was amazing. You got to sit through it. I promise it gets really good, really quick. Pay attention.
I
Because
really,
you'll think about it and be like, wow.
and I would definitely say go see it in the theaters if you still can.
Yep.
I think it added to it.
Yeah, I
I
think so,
also,
too.
I gotta say it was kind of fun because like we went to Sam's work because he works at a movie theater to see this, and the theater we were in was called The Lyric, and so it's kind of like oldies inspired walking.
Oh, yeah,
in.
it's very Art Deco.
Yeah, so
Yep.
it kind of set the mood going in to watch it. So I don't know if y'all
The-
did that on purpose, but
I mean, that's how that theater's designed.
I know, but I'm saying
yeah.
I don't know if you guys chose to put that movie in that theater for that reason.
Probably not, but
Well,
happy coincidences.
Yeah.
it's supposed to be for our indie movies, so
Yeah, it set the mood.
For our indie movies.
or smaller release
Yeah.
movies.
So, all right, Last Night in Soho, watch it.
Yeah. Like.
I don't think we ever actually said. Did we say watch it?
Yeah. We all said
we
watched
Did-
it.
I don't
Yeah, all
remember.
of
It's
us
been an
watched
hour.
it.
At the beginning.
If there's ever a movie I can say that we watched that you just need to go sit down and see, it's probably this one.
Yeah.
This was definitely one that you just need to go in, no spoilers, no nothing, have fun.
Watch it. It just take all of it in. Think about it afterwards. Like if you're like, I feel like that came out of nowhere. Sit and think about it. You'll see the hints about it later.
And please tell us what
Yeah.
you think about it. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely tell us.
Leave a
what you think about
comment,
it, 'cause
DM
if
us
you
on
say
Twitter.
that you hate it, I will fight you.
Send us a pigeon.
A pigeon?
My one tweet I made on my account, I said my 3 most anticipated movies of this year were Dune, Last Night in Soho, and No Way Home. So far, both 2 of the 3 have been hits. So,
Yeah, I can confirm I've watched them both with Sam. Absolutely amazing.
and we'll probably do at least you and me on a Dune episode.
Yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned for the Bros Dune episode where we talk about how much we love that director.
Gonna have our chick flick night soon too.
Of what?
I don't know. There's a couple horrible looking ones on Netflix that might be fun.
Tall girl.
There was the one Afterlife
movie's so
of the
bad.
Party.
She's just 6'2".
Oh, I did want to see that.
Yeah.
After the party.
Yeah.
I haven't. There's
Hey.
a couple that I want to watch that I haven't seen.
Hey, can I just throw this out? Tall Girl 6'2".
Yeah, I know.
I could pick her
My
up.
cousin is
I
taller
could pick
than
her up. I could pick up tall girl. She wears a size 12. I wear a size 17 in men's.
You know what
She's
they
not
say
that
about
big.
big shoes.
She's not that big.
Small dicks.
I was gonna say big feet, Corey. That's my little brother.
All right. On that awkward note,
Yeah.
love you guys. Bye.
Oh, wait,
See ya.
Katie, you have to say the thing.
I was going to after Kurt said that.
Oh.
Oh,
Just wait a like. Wow. Why do I have to be the only one to plug social media?
Because you're the one who remembers all of it.
I plugged our socials. I said, please reach out to us on any of our socials. DM us on Twitter. Send us a carrier pigeon.
What's our @ then, Kurt?
On @CDRPod or even our individual ones. I'm at Dumb Hipster CDR.
I think I'm at Sam CD.
I think Corey and I are the only ones that just use our actual handles.
Yeah, I'm at Curiosity.
Oh, I'm
on
at
Instagram.
Sam CDR Pod.
Yeah, mine's just HP Freak 2012.
I
On
don't-
everything.
I only have an Instagram.
I have like everything.
Katie really loves RPGs, you guys.
RPGs?
Yeah, HP, health points.
Oh my god. That's for Harry Potter, because I'm a fucking nerd.
I was like, the moment you were like, what? I was like, this is sad.
I didn't think about it. Alright,
Anyway,
everybody.
we're at CDR Podcast on everything except for Facebook.
Nope. CDR Pod.
CDR Pod
And
on
if you
everything
need
except
to,
for Facebook.
That's why you're in charge of this.
It all, but if you guys ever need to email us, I'll put it in our little description down below. Our email is certainlydoomedreviews@gmail.com.
If you email us a movie, we will review it.
Yes, we have gotten some suggestions on Spotify, and we are not watching Cannibal Holocaust, Kurt.
Yo, anyone else could have left that besides me? We don't
It
know.
says your name.
Fuck.
Nice try though.
We will try to review it.
All right, everybody, go follow us on Facebook, Certainly Doom Reviews, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, @CDRPod.
And watch this fucking movie.
Please,
Watch
we're
it.
begging you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Deuces, y'all.
See ya.